Hey guys, it's Ashley. Welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing my book haul for the past couple of months. So it's my January-February book haul. I've been doing very good lately about not spending much money on books. I can't say that I'm not getting books or buying them because I have accumulated about 15 books here, but I only had to pay out of my wallet for a couple of them because I've been really good about trading in a ton of my books to the used bookstore. I'm being pretty ruthless with my books, and also I've had a couple gift cards. So I'm really excited about all the books that I got, and I've already read some of them. So if I've already read them, I'll kind of tell you a little bit about them, or if I know a little bit about them, I will tell you kind of the synopsis. So let's look at the books. So the first couple are ones I bought with a gift card at Barnes & Noble, and I've already read two of these. So the first one is To Sir Philip with Love. You guys already saw me talk about this, so I liked it. It was pretty good. It wasn't my favorite in the series, but I did really like it. And the next one is The Ones Who Got Away by Ronnie Lauren. I also talked about this. I believe I talked about both of these in my January Part 2 wrap-up. So if you're interested, definitely check out that video, and I talked a lot more about them, but I really loved this one. I gave it a 5 out of 5, and it was really good. Also, sorry if you hear my cat. She's being very vocal today, so if you hear her meowing, she says hi. The next one I got was Lead in Deep by Kylie Scott. This is books 3 and 4 in the Stage Dive series, and I read books 1 and 2 in January, and I really liked them. I thought they were really good rock star romances, really fun, so I picked this one up. It's the second combo book, and I hope to get to them soon because I like to finish this series out, and the next two sound pretty good. The next one I got is Such a Pretty Girl by Tess Diamond. I believe I talked about this one in my Romance Readers Readathon TBR video. I actually didn't get to this one because I switched it out for a different book, but this is a romantic thriller from what I know, and I believe it involves a woman who's an FBI profiler, and suddenly one of the criminals is targeting her, and so she has to kind of work with, I believe, another police officer who's the love interest, to kind of figure out what's going on. And I mean, it just sounds really, really tension filled, and I'm trying to get more into romantic thrillers, so there's a couple in here. I think it's a genre I could really enjoy. I just haven't dived in very much, so I've picked up a couple of different authors to kind of see who I like and who I don't. So if you guys have any recommendations for that, for awesome romantic thrillers, definitely let me know down below. The next one is I Promise of Fire by Amanda Bouchette. I think it's Bouchette, and that's the first book in the Kingmakers Chronicles. I've heard really good things about this series. It's a romantic fantasy, and it just sounds awesome. I honestly don't know too much about the plot other than it's a romantic fantasy, but I mean, even this cover, who doesn't want to read this? But I haven't got to it yet, but I know there's 3 books out in the series, and I believe that's the end of the series, so I kind of wanted to wait until at least a couple of books were out so I could binge read them. I'm really hoping this will be an awesome fantasy because I really want to read, I think I said that in one of my videos, I really want to read some more fantasy, and this just sounds so good. So the next group of books are books that I got from my local used bookstore. As I said, I've been pretty ruthless with getting rid of books that either I don't think I'm gonna read, or books that I've read but were just okay. I'm someone who likes to keep books because I like to reread, but what I noticed was that a lot of the books on my shelf I kept because I read them, but they weren't favorites, they were just okay. And I want to look at my shelf and see only books that I either dying to read or I loved reading, and so that's why I've kind of been a bit more ruthless with getting rid of books, but it's given me a lot more credit at the used bookstore. So the first one I got is The Ugly Duchess by Eloisa James. This is book 4, I think, in her fairy tale retellings. I read the first one. You don't have to read them in order. They're I'm pretty sure completely standalone. And I also read this one. So this will be, I'll talk about this in a coming up wrap up, but spoiler alert, I didn't actually love this one, and I was sad because I really love this cover and I love the idea of the ugly duckling storyline, but it wasn't my favorite from her. The next one is Till Death by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is another one that I already read this month, so you'll see that coming up in my wrap-up, but I really liked this. This is another romantic thriller, and you guys know I pretty much love anything Jennifer Armentrout writes, so I wasn't shocked that I liked this, but I was surprised at how much I liked the kind of thriller aspect to it. The next one is The Date of the Duchess by Sarah MacLean. This is actually the book I'm currently reading, so you will also hear me talk about this one in a wrap-up because I'm sure I'll finish it in the next couple of days. This is book 3 in the Scandal and Scoundrel kind of series from her. I read the first one and I loved it, The Rogue Not Taken, I believe it's called. And then I haven't read book 2 because they didn't have that one at the used bookstore and I didn't want to pay full price for it, but I got this one and I really don't think I needed to read it. They're kind of standalones, they just kind of revolve in the same world, but so far I'm really loving this. This is a big time second chance book, and I'm not always the biggest fan of second chance kind of romances. Sometimes I think they fall a little flat, but this one so far, I'm only halfway done, but so far I'm really liking it. The next one I got is Claimed by Elle Kennedy. This is, I believe, the first book in her Outlaws novel series. I love Elle Kennedy and some of her other stuff she's written, and obviously I'm pretty sure she's one half of Erin Watt, who wrote the Paper Princess series, which I really enjoyed. So I wanted to check out more of her books and kind of other series. I know she also, I believe, has a romantic thriller series, but I didn't see that one there, so I went with this one. And this one, I believe, is post-apocalyptic. So I think it's like, let's see. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure this one takes place kind of in like a future, and it's very kind of almost like a dystopian, I'm pretty sure. If anyone's read this though, let me know, because I might be completely off with that, but I do know it's, just based off the cover, I'm pretty sure it's some kind of like futuristic dystopian world, but also a romance. So again, trying to branch out and read some different stuff. The next one I got is The Highwayman by Kerrigan Byrne, I think, Kerrigan Byrne, I'm not sure how you say that, but I have also heard very good things about this series. I think it's obviously historical romance, but I think it's a bit darker of a story from what I've been kind of hearing around. I know a lot of people have read this and really enjoyed it, but I think it is a bit of a darker historical than some of the ones I've been reading lately. So I kind of want to check it out. You know, I think it might be a bit of a different take on historicals that I'm used to, but it sounds fun. I really like this yellow cover. Speaking of yellow covers, the next one I got is Blame It on the Duke by Lenora Bell. This is part of the Disgraceful Duke series. I haven't read any of the other ones in this series, but I know Lenora Bell's another really big name in historicals. I haven't also, how many times am I going to say the word sorry guys, but I really want to get into Lenora Bell. I've heard amazing things about her as well, which is pretty much the same thing for everything in this book haul, but it sounds really fun. This just sounds really good, and I was trying to pick up a few other authors that I hadn't tried yet. And speaking of that, I also picked up The Madness of Lord Ian Mackenzie by Jennifer Ashley. The reason I picked this one up, because this is an older historical romance, and typically I haven't read too many of the older ones. I know they can sometimes be a little more problematic. I mean, this isn't that old. I think it's from 90s, 2000, something like that. But this book I picked up because the Lord Ian Mackenzie, the main hero, is known to be mad, but I'm pretty sure that I've heard that it's actually where he has some kind of either a learning disability or like an autism. I can't remember which one it is, but he has something that in today's society we would probably know more information about, but back then they just thought the guy was mad. And then obviously the heroine kind of falls in love with him. So it just sounds really interesting, and I've heard a lot of people say this was done well and that it was really intriguing to see how those characters kind of came together. So again, I haven't read Jennifer Ashley either, but give it a try. Okay guys, I just have 3 more, and these are ones I did actually purchase. So the only ones in this haul I actually purchased with, you know, not trade-in credit and stuff. And the first one is Beyond Danger by Kat Graham. No, that says Kat Martin, not Graham. Anyways, so this is another romantic thriller. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know anything about this book, but I was just browsing the shelves and I saw this, and for some reason it really called out to me enough to be bought. I mean, I know it has to do with a man who's kind of like a big businessman mogul type guy who finds someone dead, and then the woman is I'm assuming she's from the FBI, but she's a police officer, and she comes in and catches him like over the body, but she doesn't think he did it. So the two of them kind of team up to work it out. Again, I'm trying out a few different authors to see, you know, what I like for romantic thrillers, and this one seemed intriguing. This one is Rookie Move by Sarina Bowen. I haven't read anything by Sarina Bowen. This is a contemporary romance, and it's a hockey romance. I love a good sports romance. So that's part of the reason I bought this. The other part is her newest release, Brooklyn Air, just came out, I believe last week or the week before that, and it looks really good. I read the synopsis, which I probably shouldn't have, but I didn't realize it was part of a series at the time. It's the 4th book in the series. And it sounded amazing, and I really want to read it, but I've been told by multiple people that I need to read the Brooklyn Bruiser series first, which is a-okay. I can read some hockey romance. So this is the first one in that series, Rookie Move, and I'm excited to get to this. I've heard everyone love this. I don't think I've heard anyone say they didn't like it, so excited. And the last book I got was Next Year in Havana by Chanel Cleeton. Can we just look at this cover for a minute? I mean, how beautiful is this cover? I'm not gonna lie, part of what really drew me in, but this book has been everywhere lately. People were raving over it, so I really wanted to check it out. And actually, I've already read this, so you'll see me talk about this one in her wrap-up as well. This is so good, guys. It's a historical fiction. It's set in Cuba during the Cuban Revolution. It takes place from 2 different perspectives, from the modern day girl Marisol, and then from her grandmother who is back in Cuba during the revolution, and the 2 stories really weave together in a really, really beautiful way. If you guys like historical fiction or historical romances or just history in general, I would really, really recommend this, but I'll talk more about it in I actually might do a review on this book. I'm not sure yet because I absolutely loved it. 5 out of 5. If you guys see this around in the bookstore, pick it up. It's worth it. I promise. So those are all the books that I picked up in the past 2 months. I think I'm gonna probably keep my book hauls like every 2 or 3 months because I'm just not picking up as many. At least I hope I'm not picking up as many. So I think that's the way I'm gonna do them. But if you guys have read any of these books, please let me know down below. I always love hearing, even if you didn't like them, that's okay. Just let me know down below. No spoilers, but let me know if they were worth the read or if there's any actually kind of like bump up the TBR list. Let me know what you guys bought this month. That's always fun to know too. So until next time, I will say goodbye. Bye.